Good afternoon, everybody. So Erwin Schrödinger's What is Life lectures, given right here in this room in 1943, became perhaps Ireland's most momentous and noteworthy contribution to 20th century science, and it's the reason we are all here today. To this day, both scientists and philosophers still question the meaning of life. How far can we take this concept of life in the age of AI, and how can it ultimately be defined? What is the future of life? I was honoured to shadow the American philosopher and cognitive scientist Daniel Dennett, whose ideas and writings have, like Schrödinger, been of major influence to many in academia. As a keynote speaker, Daniel was granted the honorary task of discussing his theories on the future of life. In true Denishian style, however, rather than delve into the realms of the science fiction, he discussed his views on the future of life as we know it. When the problem is difficult, just blurt out an answer and then you'll have something to fix. This is perhaps the most memorable quote from Dennett's talk and is akin to his general approach to deciphering momentous philosophical questions. So Dennett has never been afraid to blurt out lots of answers and incrementally develop and refine hypotheses to some of the biggest questions worth asking. His desires for the talk were to focus on the future of life as we know it now, steering clear to sounding like H.G. Wells and using rather accurate evidence from contemporary developments. Dennett is a dogmatic Darwinian scholar and thus hypothesizes that the future of life, like it has until now, will be governed by the unconscious genius of evolution. Can natural selection still be defined as natural? Are we as humans artificially dictating our own future? Dennett detailed the methods in which a primitive termite colony creates an elaborate castle-like structure with no conscious architect directing them in accordance with an intricate blueprint. Termites' actions are unconscious. They're guided by an innate behavior that has been crafted by evolution. Dennett then juxtaposes this to a similarly structured Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. The intelligent architect Antoni Gaudí used his creative awareness to masterfully construct the mesmerizing structure which enthralls millions of tourists every year. Gaudí was an intelligent designer. He was guided by his conscious creativity. Evolution has unconsciously crafted consciousness in humans. In his most recent book, From Bacteria to Back and Back Again, Dennett details how up until the rise of Homo, the world and nature were governed by competence without comprehension. Serious comprehension of anything is very recent, only millennia old, but we're now on the verge of moving into the age of post-intelligent design. Often we are over-reliant on artificial sources to carry out simple tasks of comprehension. I hope I can speak for all of you in this room when I say that as scientists, we should never cease asking why, how, and what for. We should never compromise or undermine the power of our comprehension. I love understanding things and I love explaining things to myself and to others. Yet we're all guilty, as Dennett says, and for good reason, of saying things like, oh, don't bother explaining how the car engine works, I don't care. I just press the ignition and off I go. What would happen if we took that approach to everything? If we've evolved the ability to be intelligent designers, is it then possible that we can pass the baton of intellect onto something else? What if this sequence of events was to continue, were perpetual? A ceaseless bequeathing of intellect to future generations of artificial design. It is clear that competence can be achieved without comprehension, but comprehension, I believe, is necessary for superior intellect to remain in human hands. Let us control the future of life by nurturing our curiosity. Never stop asking why. So Erwin Schrödinger was not just a scientist, he was also a philosopher and an artist. This multidisciplinary approach has also been seen in Dennett's career, and I was inspired to write a poem about what is the future of life. So what is the future of life? By me, Dearbhaile Casey. Sentient, spoken, speculative, soft, defying the laws of nature, defiant full stop, gifted by the blind watchmaker with comprehension of our thoughts. We spoke, we learned, we built and fought. Now I am the watchmaker, determined to bequeath the baton of consciousness to my own sown seed. Sentient, spoken, speculative, hard, scripted, debugged, inorganic, unscarred. marveling with pride at my design with reason, naive of how hallow world may one day commit treason. Blindly, I hand my creation a knife, now a victim undermined, the future of life.